Our next speaker is Mr. Pierre Garrigues. He's the Director of Research and Development at IQ Engines. As a graduate student in the Redwood Center for Theoretical Neuroscience at UC Berkeley, he developed computational models of human visual processing. His current focus is to build IQ Engine's image recognition platform that will transform how we use cameras and organize large photo collections. Applications built using the platform are helping visually impaired users to identify currency and products around them. He holds a PhD from the Department of Electrical and Computer Sciences at Berkeley and an undergraduate degree from Ecole Polytechnique in France. Mr. Pierre Garrigues.
Hi everyone, my name is Pierre and I'm with IQ Engines. We're a small Berkeley startup and most of us are former Berkeley grads, so it's particularly nice to be here today. What I want to talk to you about today is mobile visual search and how it's helping the blind community. So I'm guessing that most of you here have a cell phone in your pocket that has a camera. And the way you've been using this camera so far is to take photos of your friends, to remember moments in your life, to share it with your friends. What we believe is that the camera will be able to do much more for you than what it is doing today. With the latest devices, you can now talk to them and they help you organize your life. We believe that you will be using your camera to sense information about the world. And what I mean by that, the kinds of things that I would want your camera to do for you is, for instance, if you're on a hike and you see a mushroom and you want to know whether should I pick it up and cook it tonight, or am I going to die from this? It would be really great if you could just point your phone at it and then the phone would tell you, yes, you can use it. Or if you come across a piece of art and you would like to find out more about when it was painted, what's the story behind it, I think it would be really great if you could just point your phone at it and the phone would tell you everything that you want to know. It would be very difficult to search and retrieve that information just using text on Google. I think the information here is very visual, so the camera is really the ideal partner to get that information back. Also, we believe that all of your photos should be tagged automatically. So here I was on a hike in Point Reyes, and I saw these elks, and it was a really special moment. And in 10 years, I will still have that memory, and I will be like, oh, wouldn't it be great if I could see that photo again? But in the meantime, I would have taken thousands and thousands of photos. It'll just be very hard to find it. But if it's tagged, then I could find it again easily. And the application that I will focus on today is how mobile visual search is helping the blind. So as I have illustrated here, there are lots of applications, and there are even more that I haven't talked about. And our goal is to build the essential tools and the platform that will help power all applications that need visual search. So let's talk about vision for the blind. How do blind people use this? So in America, all bank bills have the same size. So for blind people, it's very difficult to know whether they have $1 or $10. Should they stop at the ATM on their way to picking up groceries or not? Right now, to figure out how much money they have, they need to rely on someone with sight who can help them out. But with visual search, they can take a picture of the bill. Then the picture is recognized, and it's a $20 bill. And then text-to-speech technology will read out to them how much money they have. So with this way, they gain a lot of autonomy by not having to rely on somebody else to count, to do very basic tasks like counting their money. Currently, there are two applications that are using our technology for visual search. And one is Omobi that we built. And so here I would like to share a little bit about our story as entrepreneurs doing visual search. you can decide to tackle just the market of helping the blind. But it's a small market, and it doesn't get investors as excited. And then entrepreneurs who build products just for the blind end up making these devices that they have to sell for a lot of money to blind people, and that does not quite feel right. So what you can do, we found two ways of being able to build a company and still have an impact to the blind community. One is through grants, the government. So we've been working with the National Institute of Health and the National Science Foundation that will be there to help you build these really cool applications for the blind. And the other is to also target bigger population, bigger markets. We believe that visual search someday will be part of each of us' lives. And this way you can really continue to build these tools that still benefit the blind community. VisWiz is one of our collaborations. So our visual search platform is one of the components of their app. And VisWiz was developed by a group at the University of Rochester led by Jeff Bigham. And underneath here, we have some examples of blind photography. So these are photos that are coming from our apps of blind people trying to figure out what type of yogurt are they going to eat. Again, currency identification, lots of food items. And so far, they had to be extremely organized. We've heard stories where when blind people come back from the store, they have to be very methodical about how they put items on their shelves. And it mostly works, but sometimes they will open the wrong can, and it's very annoying to them. Now, using visual search, they can double check and get the answers back. Here is a little demo of the latest of our software. So here you can see you take a picture of the can, and then it's identified. And using the iOS accessibility features, all the labels are being read out to the blind people. So here, a dollar bill is identified automatically. So how is all this possible? Well, we're using a tool that's called computer vision. As a graduate student here at Berkeley, I worked in a lab whose goal was to try to figure out how come our brain is so good at vision, trying to understand how we can process all this visual information and recognize objects around us. And our goal would be to understand it to the extent that we could write a computer program that would emulate our visual system. And it's a very difficult task at hand, because if you think of an image, it's millions of pixels. And when you look at a picture, you don't perceive that little area right here has X% red, X% green, X% blue. You perceive people, I perceive an auditorium, and so forth. So how can we transform these pixels into meaningful presets that will then compose objects? So that's the goal of computer vision, and it's one of the central problems of artificial intelligence. And there's a lot of work that remains to be done. So here are some things in the state of the art that a machine can successfully recognize. So the machine is, you probably have seen these kinds of codes, so QR codes, barcodes the computer can recognize. This type of flat art, flat 2D media, is also fairly easy for the computer if it's been trained to recognize those images. So if you've told the computer that this is a painting by this particular artist, then the next time there's a photo of that same painting, it's able to do the match. And same thing for book covers. What remains very difficult is a picture like this. So here you have this bird. So the computer may be able to tell you it's a bird, but it might not be able to tell you exactly which species it's from. Because to do that, it would have to, an expert would have to do some very subtle distinctions between the shape of the beak and things like that that require some very sophisticated reasoning about the three-dimensional shape of the object. And that remains very difficult. So here I have also a picture of this empty camera. So it's an object, it's rigid, but it's still very difficult because it doesn't have very much texture on it. And still it recognizes, it necessitates the computer to make complex inferences about the 3D shape of the object. So as of today, some objects can be recognized, some cannot. And for a human being that has, for a product to be viable, it has to work in really a lot of cases. And so here what can you do? You can decide to wait 10 years, 15 years for research to make progress and make it possible to recognize more objects. Or you can take shortcuts. And that's what we did. So our approach was to, when we receive an image, we first have the computer take a first guess at it. And if the computer doesn't get it, then we send it to people. Because humans are still the best at vision, so we decided to have them involved in the loop. So this is a hybrid approach where we use tools from artificial intelligence and people. And so we have a web portal where people can come and tag images and help blind people identify products. And what's neat about this is that once a human has identified the image, then we can teach the machine about that image that was presented, such that the next time the computer is faced with a similar looking image, it can recognize it automatically. And with this hybrid approach, we have a system that gets better over time by people using it, and also get better over time as we improve our understanding of vision. And I would like to show you this tweet from one of our users. And the user is saying, "Oh my, I just almost took Benadryl, thanks Snuggles and Omobi combined." And so Omobi is our visual search app. So here we have a blind person who's taking medications and is relying on visual search to decide what's appropriate to take. And so here it's a potentially life-threatening situation. And this person is relying on technology to make these decisions. And it really shows that we have to do a really good job if people are using the technology for these kinds of things. And so there is still a long way to go, but we're really excited to bring visual search to everybody and have the blind community be one of the first to truly benefit from these new technologies. Thank you.
Thank you, Pierre.